Okay, this is Crystallashellelax, not as Willie Mae or Granny. This is Crystallashellelax as Mom. And this is a video that I'm making for my daughter and for myself. I bought a house in 2017 in Muncie, Indiana. And it was an all small, very small white town. And if you've ever lived in a small white town in Indiana, in KKKville, the white people started messing with you. Didn't like the fact that I became a black homeowner of a 127-year-old house. So they was like saying that, honey, there go the neighborhood, all that silly stuff. We would walk to the store if we missed the bus. They call us street monkeys sitting out on our porch. We became porch monkeys. Then the cops, it was like all white cops. One of the cops, Dad, was the chief of police. So my daughter was in a flood in Florida, and they mandated for them to evacuate. So she came up to Muncie, Indiana, her and my grandson, to live with me in the new house that I just bought in Muncie. Well, the cops started harassing Dominique tremendously. It was almost like they was having sex with her and passing her from one cop to the other. And they was finding anything and everything to arrest her with. When she moved to Muncie, Indiana, and they don't like me talking about this because white people feel that they can do dirt to you and then sit up there and smash it down while you and your family is hurting. They're behind the scene laughing, still doing KKK mess against black people or against a black family, but in a more subtle, in a more sneaky, and a more secretive, discreet. When white men meet you as a black woman, they like for everything to be done discreetly, especially if they're cops, attorney, lawyers, judges. They like for everything to be kept a secret. Well, in the midst of this being kept a secret, my daughter, that was a perfect, healthy black young woman, started having mental health problems because they kept harassing her back to back. Like every weekend, it was almost like they had to have a good old boys good time with her. And she would come back now memorizing things. She would be holding herself as if she got hurt, but she couldn't talk. It seemed like they had her on some type of drugs, like memory loss drugs. It will remind you of women describing date rape drug, where they don't remember. And if I was a misconduct cop and I did something, but I don't want them to remember anything, so I won't go to jail or I won't lose my job. And so I have another daughter named Natisha that lives up in Indianapolis. So Dominique would go up there, go visit her sister. Well, guess what? The same pattern of bogus arrest, white men touching her, she being put in mental health. They used to do this. The 72-hour hold used to be done. That she told me that they was inappropriately touching her. She didn't want them touching her. And so that was their way of punishing her. That's how I see it. A white male trying to be alpha and trying to abuse a black woman. And you don't do what we tell you or comply, or you won't be a good girl, in other words, then we're just going to use this as a fear practice. So basically, psychologically drained her, psychologically beat her down, basically, through all of the harassment, and also with me, by me owning that place. So I filed in September, an incident happened September 13th from an officer Hunter. And so I went to the police department to go get a record of it. But when I found out that he did not make a police report, I knew that he was harassing us. So I filed. I learned how to file myself. I learned the procedure of what you need to at least initiate a federal complaint. So I learned this. I filed September the 17th, and I think it was established on the 24th. of 2019 because the harassment was severe. I mean, if you never dealt with the KKK, they're ignorant and they're silly and they're messing with you and bothering you. Now, I had moved there from California. Now, I had just got finished with a hysterectomy surgery, hernia surgery. I had a bowel obstruction operation, and complication was lasting up to 2.5 years. And I needed rest. My body totally needed rest. So I got a hold of some money, and I was in a homeless situation, and I just wanted a place to stay, and I was raised in South Bend, so this particular home wasn't too far from family. I never moved too far away from family. I have a big family. There's a family member even here right now, in Pittsburgh on my kids' sides, and so they got to harassing us really bad, walking all on my private property. I have all kind of signs of the white men were walking on my private property, being disrespectful, ignorancy, and fat ass. I mean, it started here in Muncie. All that name calling, how much she's a black, ugly porch monkey, as me, they referring to me. And so they did the same thing with Dominique. For some reason, white security guards always want to put their hands on my daughter. When she's at the store, they trespassed her like back to back. And do you know, when we moved there with the money I had, we put over $20,000 in this, broke down the poorest, I didn't know it at the time, but after I did my research, it's one of the poorest city in Indiana. It's like number 4 on the list. But I didn't know it at the time. I just found a cheap house, if you will. Just didn't do my due diligence, and I should have done it. Because I would have found out that Muncie, Indiana is where the KKK used to hold their rallies. And there's pictures all on the internet. If you look up KKK Muncie, Indiana, or corruption in Muncie, Indiana, then you'll find all that information. I just didn't do it because, I was desperate, had to rest my body from the surgery. So it was a lot of white women that was dating black men out there. So they didn't like the fact that there's 3 beautiful black women that just moved in this house. And for some reason, their small town mind thought that we want their men. First of all, your men so ran down. They're not my cup of tea. Even if there was a white man, I go for corporate executive. The men, as far as white men goes, I have always dealt with somebody that owned a company or that was able to give me a cool $400 with no damn problem, not even blink about it. So as far as their broke down men, nobody wanted them. People wanted to just mind their own business and be left alone. Well, these people kept bothering us. You'll be at the bus stop. I used to walk down to the bus stop. Here they come. It would be like, first of all, like 3 cars coming back to back. Like they got on the phone and called their family and their friends. And now we're gonna have a little excitement now that we have some new black gals that'll move to our town. Basically, I seen an ad where they're offering people $5,000. If you relocate and move there. If you black or if you a single woman, I would say no. Because those men of that town is desperate for young women. Are you hearing me? And they will mess up your young women. This is a warning. My daughter was perfectly healthy when she got there. Now she suffers from schizophrenia. And she has epilepsy. They have put their hands, those white men, have put their hands on my daughters too many times. Too many times. And because they used to do me like that in my 20s too. That's why I carry a weapon now. Because I said no white man ever gonna put their damn hands on me without me stabbing them or me using something on them. You understand? And And so we we um, we've been through this situation with Dominique. She's at the Rose M. Singer Center in New York now. She was just visiting there and for her birthday, and she wanted to buy herself a bag, LV bag, and some luggages and a couple of pieces of clothing. Well, someone on the train, I think she said the North train, ended up taking her baggage, and she tried to chase the guy down with some kind of hammer. She found a hammer along the way, tried to get her bag back because you got your ID in it, Social Security, birth certificate, you got all this stuff in there, right? And so, she tried to chase him down with a hammer. Well, apparently she ended up getting stuck out there because all of her stuff was in her purse. And we didn't have not no $400 just to pull out of the blue. So she was stuck down there, stranded, And then I did a missing person because I didn't hear from her from the last call. And then I found out that she was in jail over a $2 bottle of water. Well, let me tell you something. These white cops have been passing my daughter around ever since we moved in 2018. And I believe that they was trafficking her. They was drugging her, and along with probably those other black guys in the neighborhood. Because all of a sudden the men started turning up against me as mother. They try to bully me, intimidate me from speaking up for my daughter. And they still trying to do that. But I wish they would put their hands on me because I'm going to die. But at the end of the day, somebody going to have some scratches on them. Somebody going to have some kind of mark on them. You understand? So for over close to 2.5 years, they have been passing this girl. I will find in her email flight tickets like they forced trafficking, sex trafficking. And I was finding tickets where Dominique little benefits that she gets now, it's not covering a ticket there and a ticket back. How is she getting these tickets? You know what I'm saying? And she kept always coming up missing. Like they will pull her away from the family for about a week or two. It became a pattern. And then get me upset. It was almost like they enjoyed seeing me upset that my child was missing from me. Because I always kept my eye on Dominique, especially since she had a nervous breakdown. So I always try to keep my eyes on my child, right? And it's like the men, like they're doing now. See, I've been also making contact with her attorney. But the men have been using this putting me on the internet because they retaliated against me when I filed in federal court Lax versus the city of Muncie, Indiana, and the police department. Okay, when I was filing up against Officer Hunter, and I filed in Indianapolis, and I filed up against the hospital because they was using this 72-hour hold to punish Dominique. So just think a young black girl, you don't need mental treatment, but they're throwing you in there anyway. Then the white big security guard, I will never forget him. He got a beard, like a red beard. He would hold my damn daughter down. And I said, that's unnecessary because I done worked as a CNA for 21 years. If she's upset, for one thing, I'm looking at you too big to be handling my child like that, And then, and then I said, and if she's upset as a patient and there's a door, well, I was taught by the state that you're supposed to walk out and close the door on the patient and let the patient calm down. If you had already gave her sedated medication, there's no need to be going back and forth with a patient. And the cops and the white security, which is an all-white hospital in an all-white town, will argue with my daughter. And I said, I'm going to report it, basically. You understand me? And they get mad at me because I'm reporting this stuff. I'm taking it to the proper authority. Now, a couple of times, it was nothing but corruptness. And the FBI told me not to call back. So I'm like, are you in on this shit? Are you letting them violate our constitutional right? Are you letting them do this to us? Because basically, now you taking me back to slavery. Now I stand on the 13th Amendment right. and for me and my daughter, because basically we're like two black slave women on the slave man market. How they used to put the black woman and her child up there on the auction trade market. Well, that's how I feel like that. You sitting up here overlooking our rights, and you want to muster down. You don't want nobody to really know what went on with us. Every time I try to speak, they try to drown me out of social media. They try to do anything to keep us quiet. Well, it got to come a time, sir, no matter how many videos that you secretly take of me, no matter how many name calling of her being an ugly fat ass nigger, no matter how many name calls that you call me, eventually the truth is going to come out. No matter, it seems like now that they don't use my daughter up, they don't damage my daughter, now they don't came up with a plot and plan to sit up there and try to put her, either they want her to die up there in that jail, which is one of the dangerous jails that you can put somebody in. That's Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? For a schizophrenia. There's nobody there to defend her. Basically, I don't know if they already talked to these attorneys, because sometimes it's like they can sit up there and make their KKK click even with the attorney, so she's not getting proper representation. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he's not one of those attorneys. You understand? That she gets equal protection of the law. They've been dogging her, and they've been doing this to her all this time. So now that we don't did this, her and we, the white little clans group, and along with some black people that also helped them. So now that we don't damage their family, and we got something to brag about in our little town of Muncie and California, because they're harassing the hell out of me here in California. Every day, 24 hours. I don't know why these cops is bothering me and harassing me, but it's almost like they make a boy in blue kind of connection. So they've been following me around from county to county because I've been homeless. They blocked me from my Section 8. They blocked me from a lot of things. I've been getting more sicker because of the harassment and the stress. They're hoping and they're praying that nobody will listen to Dominique or her mom, because they figure that this is something that they want to get away with. Violating our rights. They have caused my daughter so much tremendous damage, emotional and mental, and including me. Not only do I have medical problems because of the constantly following, harass, trying to intimidate you. They try to use this card game where when you step out, a group of cars will come in an intimidated way, like they don't want you to feel comfortable in their white town. Well, at the end of the day, I'm a United States citizen. I don't see you treat immigrants more better than you have me, and I'm Black American. I was born here. I was born in Mansfield, Ohio, and my children was born in South Bend, Indiana. So we are the natural born United States citizen. Are you understanding me? So therefore, that means that I can stand on the 13th Amendment rights, that there is no slavery, for it has been abolished. But for some reason, they want to act like they want to ignore it. They want to sit up there and try to push over my rights. And as far as the FBI go, this is all criminal. This is felony that they have done up against us. But watch them, because I'm black. Watch how the FBI don't move on these racist people. You see? So I'm making this video because they have had illegal cameras on me for a long time, and this is 24 hours a day. Probably cops using cop equipment. You understand? Or it could be Dominique's ex-boyfriend Marcus David Eastman, the owner of IVEYO Sports Phone, and his little production and meeting of the mind. When he met Dominique in Arizona. It wasn't nothing serious, just a hookup, if you will. A pregnancy happened. He wanted her to abort the baby. We don't believe in abortion, killing an innocent baby. So he got mad. He got upset and started harassing her. You know, this will go all the way back in 2009. Him, his friend, he had a Facebook page where he would text her back and forth. Now, from the beginning, Dominique asked him twice, "Are you in a relationship?" He said no. Okay, then all of a sudden, this Akeisha Marie Gray pops up out of the blue, start messing with Dominique about her business name. She tried to take Dominique's business name, and the IRS and other agencies told her that she couldn't have it. So Dominique's name was Naked Swim USA. So Akeisha had to end up naming her business Naked Swim LLC because she couldn't have it. You know, the tax business was already established years ago with the IRS, so you can't take nobody's name like that, right? So it's like, well, did he sleep with Akeisha? I mean, who the fuck? Excuse my language. You understand? But they kept on her and other women. You know how once a woman get to talking, girl, look at him. He slept with her. Hey, I look better, you know, because it's all about her light skin and biracial looking. So, you know what I'm saying? So she one of those that it's all about her looks and her body and what she look like. And I look better than Dominique. So, let's do this and that to Dominique. You know, one of those catty, real childish, real like little girl, teenager kind of tit for tat. You know, and Dominique wasn't willing to play it. Dominique was about her business, about her son, and that's it. She wasn't even in love with this dude. You understand? So, and she asked that guy twice. You know, his name is A.K. Rico. Are you in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, and he's like, no. I mean, I got the email. I still got the email all the way from back then. You know? Yeah, because I was checking my daughter, even though she was 21, I was still checking some things out, you know? So, this situation happened where he got a production company. So these videos that's on us illegal, it could be from Tube Source, it could be from these harassing cops, or it could be from Rico. You understand? This little IVEYO production reality TV show. But whoever it is, to be videotaping our life 24 hours a day. Now, you have to put yourself in our shoes. How would you feel that you wake up and you know that there's a group of people watching you inside? And we're not talking about on the outside. We're talking about inside of your unit. That they have been so disrespectful and trampling all over your civil rights, all over your human rights, all over your constitutional rights, all over your felony rights. And they have opened it so that general people of the public can be viewing you every day. Now, isn't that vicious? Isn't that ruthless? Isn't that some very low down dirty mess, right? Now they know that if I flip this on them and I put their life out there like that, they know that they would not like it. Am I right? So it's something for somebody can dish something out to you. But if you start exposing their life and putting their daughters and their sons through some of the things that they put my innocent daughter through, you understand, or what they putting somebody's mother and grandmother through, then they wouldn't like it. See, it's good for somebody to dish something out, but there's an old-fashioned saying that whatever you dish out, you got to be able to take it back. So you got to be able to swallow that same type of medicine that you dishing out to somebody else. And I'm upset with the FBI because this is a hate. I'm not only a CNA for over 21 years, but I'm also a certified paralegal. And when I call them regarding these issues, it's like you have been instructed not to call the FBI. Well, why don't you instruct these damn hate groups to leave me the hell alone? Because you are the higher authority. And if these are cops that's sitting up there doing this and been doing this over the years, this is where the FBI should be stepping in. Because when you go to the FBI website, it says that we investigate civil rights. This is a civil rights violation. And they have all of this training up under the FBI. They have all of this training up under the FBI. So it's like you got these out of control cops or racists or whatever it is. There's no cops. There's nothing in the cop description that says that you need to be worried about the shape of my body and what I look like. That is way out of the scope of your job description. Your job is to arrest, process, and wait and lock us up in a cell and let us wait for a judge. That's your job. You understand? And for them to be circling around me every day, trying to make my life uncomfortable, trying to sit up there and get almost like as many people as possible to join in on violating me, talking about me. Look how fat she is. Look at the fat black nigger. Basically. And for the IRS or the Department of Justice not to be stepping in, and as a paralegal, I wouldn't be contacting you if I didn't see the seriousness in it. So for you to dismiss me like this as a paralegal now, this is what's upsetting me. So basically, I'm reading from the FBI and I'm reading from the Department of Justice that you would rather see me and my child sit up here and go through suffering as long as my skin is not white, then it's okay to have that done. Well, that's a 13th Amendment violation. So you mean tell me somebody from the FBI is viewing me as a slave woman and viewing my child as a slave woman that don't have no rights then? Because I don't did plenty of complaints that something should have been established or some form of an investigation. And if you're the FBI, there's no way that you cannot tell me who got these cameras over our apartment. You got too many equipment, unless you are doing it. There's too many equipment to view in on people and satellite. So there's no way that you can't tell me that you can't pick up their signals. Who is exactly putting these cameras over us every day? See, a proper investigation would have been able to determine that. And the things probably wouldn't have gotten this far to the point where my daughter, her mind has been shattered. And now I guess it's time that now that the snakes bit her, now I guess it's time for them to slither and slide their way through this one. Without us getting a fair chance in court. I don't care about nothing about no misdemeanor stuff. I'm talking about this level of their felony right now. There's nothing for me to hide from the FBI that they don't already know about right now. I'm not the one hiding from FBI, from the Department of Justice, from nobody. But see, this what they doing right now, they're the one behind the scene hiding. And if a person didn't do nothing to that girl, they wouldn't have to follow me with cameras. They're trying to follow me with cameras to see who I call, what I'm talking about, so that they could try to stay a step ahead of the game. And see how we can continue to violate these black women's rights. Now their last and final plan for Dominique, now that the men have used her up and have damaged her, now we're going to see if we could get her out of sight and out of mind now. That's the next goal. So we have to see how the attorneys play this out. Are they going to represent Dominique to the fullest of the law and give her equal protection, especially as a person with disabilities? Are they going to try to lock her away behind the family back? Because they've been doing a lot of white people sneaky stuff behind the whole entire family back. Not just mom, because they figure that they're going to run over my damn rights. So they figure that there ain't nobody else to care about Dominique. Nobody else in the family. Because they only see her little brother. They see me. And they figure that this is what we're going to do. We're going to overstep the whole entire family altogether. All of the blood relatives, that's what we're going to do. Because it doesn't seem like the blood relative even relates to them or talk to them. And we're talking about on the Lax side. We're talking about on the Williams side. And we're talking about on the whole entire Davis side. Not including the Harris and the France and the Johnsons. So this is their goals. They want to override. See, if we are part Indian, so we are part Indian tribe. So therefore, at the end of the day, If I had my papers, you're not able to do anything without the tribal having to say so. So I'm here to give them this message because I'm tired of the game. I'm 55 years old. I'll be 55 September the 7th. They have been trying to do everything, me as a woman, to try to make me feel that I'm not worthy to be treated with respect at this age. I'm a grandmother of 10. I have 4. And try to treat me like I'm not worthy. All the other women are better than me. All the other women deserve their respect. I stay at home. I mind my own business. I cook. I clean. It doesn't matter. I'm not married to any of these men. They should not be harassing me. Do you understand me? They're complete strange men approaching a strange woman. This is something alarming. This is something very serious. This is a felony. This is where someone is stalking a person that don't want to be bothered with these men. It's harassing a person that don't want to be bothered. My child have already been damaged by their harassment. And they still want to ignore it and listen and not listen. So it's like, okay, so is the governor allowing these people here in the state of California to just treat me as an African American United States citizen any kind of way that they want? And the more higher up people that's supposed to be doing something about this is turning their head? Because how can I make so many reports as a certified paralegal and nothing is being done and nothing have been done yet and nothing has been established yet? And I got my certificate from the state of California. So basically I do know my training or they would never certify me. And everything that they have been doing using electronic video recording every day. And then when you're going out in public, they have the intent to harass me and follow me. I don't know you unless you identify yourself. I don't even know if you're an undercover cop. And why are you watching me so intense like we're some kind of mafia? Why are you watching me so intense? If you ain't doing nothing to my daughter, you don't have no business watching her mother like that. If there's a job to do, hey, I'm not running from nothing. Do your job. Like they got on the phone from Muncie, Indiana, because my house caught on fire, and then the temperature dropped very low. We ain't have no window, we ain't have no electricity, we ain't have no plumbing, in Muncie. So we had to come back to California, up here where my son is. And it's like they got on the phone from Muncie, Indiana, and connected to the KKKs up here in California. And they've been doing the same pattern that they did to me down in Muncie. You understand? And I'm here to tell them, since they want to be a coward still behind the scene and want to play pretend Alex in Wonderland, I'm here to tell you that I'm tired of your crap. I want to take you to court. I want to sue for millions. And I do mean millions. This is out of the horse's mouth. This is not out of your mouth. Because you've been talking and you don't have the whole floor. You've been showing everybody these 2 black women. And what makes it so bad, what really bothers me, how many people is allowing it to happen to us. Not one person spoke up. Not one person defend 2 black women. So you know what's going to happen, women? If they're able to get away with this with us, what do you think that's going to happen to Hispanic women? What do you think that's going to happen to Indian women? What do you think that's going to happen to white women then? You think about that while you sitting up here enjoying the show. The camera show, which is nobody consented. Nobody gave them any kind of consent. So do you know what basically that is? That's like cyber raping. That's cyber intrusiveness and trespassing. You use an electronic device to break into someone's home and spy in on them. That's what I call it. It's cyber raping people. It's cyber raping women.